Hey everybody, this is Travis with Gat Daily, and today we're looking at Kel-Tec's KS7. Now this is the KSG's little brother. Now the KSG used 2 tubes to give you 14 rounds of ammo. This uses a single tube to give you 7. And the KSG was kind of a cool idea, but I didn't like it. I felt it was a little bit bulky and a little bit complicated. I kind of like my shotguns to be lightweight, slim, and simple, and that's exactly what the KS7 is. So the KS7 is a very short weapon. It's only 26¼ inches long, so that makes it actually a little bit shorter than a Mossberg Shockwave, but much more usable because it actually has a stock. It has an 18.5 inch barrel and weighs 5.9 pounds. It's a very lightweight gun. It's very slim, and that's what I like about it. Now, typically shotguns are close quarters weapons. When you're using it in a home defense scenario, you're going to be indoors. In that scenario, the bullpup really shines. So if you take a shotgun and you shrink it to 26¼ inches, you give me a stock, you give me 7 rounds, and you make it weigh only 5.9 pounds, I'm going to be very happy to use this weapon inside my home for home defense. I think Kel-Tec really kind of nailed it, specs-wise, to make this as useful as it can be. Features-wise, this gun's pretty dense. It's actually really neat, and it has a lot of great ideas that I wouldn't have considered before. Now, the first one that'll probably catch your eye is this carry handle. Carry handle's kind of neat, and I'll tell you why. It acts as a good place to mount accessories. Now, with a shotgun this short, you're kind of limited on range of where you can mount an accessory. You know, there's M-LOK slots here, but what am I going to put here that's not covered with my hand? So on this gun, I could put my light here, and I can reach it very easily. Now, the carry handle also serves as your sighting system, and it has a high visibility green front sight that's in the form of a triangle. Now, it's great for buckshot. It's great for getting on target very quickly. It's not great for slugs in my experience, but I use a shotgun with buckshot, so I'm not too worried about that. Now, the gun is also left-handed friendly, which is rare in a bullpup. So it feeds and ejects from the bottom, so there's no shells getting ejected in your face. Controls, ambidextrous. This is your pump release. You just pull it down, work your action. That action is very, very smooth, and actually that's one of the things that first impressed me when I picked this gun up, is how smooth that action is. Now, if you look down it, you also see it has an integrated hand shield, so your hand doesn't slip in front of the gun while you're pumping it, which is great because you don't want what I like to call KSG hand. Only downside of that is if you put your thumb here, the recoil will come back and hit your thumb. So I've started putting my thumb about there while I'm shooting the gun. So the last feature I want to point out is that the tube has cuts and a high visibility white follower. So you can actually track where your follower is, and it gives you a good idea of how much ammo you have left. I think that's a pretty nifty feature. It's one I keep kind of forgetting I have and keep forgetting to practice to use, but I could see it being very useful. And someone will probably ask this, so yes, the carry handle is removable, and the KSG optics rails will fit on it, will fit on the KS7. So you can mount an optic or a red dot, and then it'll be a lot more slug friendly for sure. So I don't have a lot of experience with Kel-Tec weapons. The only one I really have a lot of experience is the Sub 2K. That's the only other Kel-Tec weapon I own. Well, it's always been a reliable little weapon. It's never been a very refined weapon. I feel the opposite with the KS7. It actually feels very refined. It looks like they really took their time to make this a great gun. Everything from how smooth the action is to how good the trigger is, it really is impressive. All the controls click and pop and feel great. The texture, they're perfect size. I really wouldn't change much on this gun. As I mentioned, we can take this off though and put an optics rail, which might or might not do. I haven't decided. Now, reliability wise, we've been through 100 rounds of assorted buckshot and 250 rounds, so that's a complete case of birdshot, about 10 various slugs, and some mini shells. Now, with all the standard length shells, this gun works perfectly fine. I had no failures to feed, no failures to inject, no failures to pick up the next round. With the mini shells, I had issues. Most guns do. I don't consider it a big deal. I just wanted to try because I think they're kind of fun to use. So Kel-Tec really impressed me with the reliability of this gun. Shotguns can be tricky, especially when you try something new and kind of dynamic like this, but they made it work. You know, I know the KSG had some problems coming out of the gate, but they seem to incorporate all the fixes from the KSG into the KS7 right away. So color me impressed on reliability. So the front sight, it kind of sucks for slugs, obviously, but it works great for buckshot. I found it to be really fast and let me get on target and get on target accurately with buckshot at buckshot ranges. Now, Rand Drill's Rob Hott, he's a master shotgunner. He likes his standard for your normal civilian is 2 shots on target in under 3 seconds. That was simple with this gun. I did it in under a second and a half. Snap drills, in which I start in a low ready, and the timer beeps, I fire 1 shot on target. I did those in under a second. This gun is very light, but it's also all the weight that the gun has is to the rear, so it pivots very naturally and gets you on target very quickly. One round that really impressed me through this gun was the Federal Flight Control double-aught buck 8 pellet. Now that's an impressive load with any shotgun, but with this gun it seemed especially tight, almost like the gun was designed around it. So at 15 yards, it looked like I was putting slugs into the target's head. That's how tight the load was. Now I compared it with other shotguns, including my Benelli M4, and the KS7 held a noticeably tighter pattern with that load at various ranges, from 15 to 25 yards. 25 yards, it's probably about as big as my hand, which is a pretty good range for a shotgun, which is what most military spec buckshot is getting, a hand-sized load at 10 to 15 yards. So that was impressive. That's what I'd run out of this. That low recoil nature also makes it a little easier to handle with the 5.9 pound shotgun. Now the one downside, and I'm sure you can predict this, is reloading. As with any bullpup, having the chamber back here makes it a little trickier to reload and reload quickly. So that's a downside. It's something you're gonna have to train to, but I don't think I'll ever be as fast as on this as I am on my Mossberg. Something you have to deal with, and it's one of the trade-offs of using a bullpup over a standard configuration shotgun. This gun really impressed me, and I'm really surprised because what I was expecting was kind of a budget, maybe plinker, fun shotgun. You know, it's a bullpup, it's kind of neat, it's novelty. But in reality, it's actually a very well-made shotgun. It's fun to shoot, it's easy to shoot, it's quick on target, and Kel-Tec did a great job with it. Now, would I trust this gun for home defense? Yes. It's not gonna replace my current home defense setup, but if I was given this gun or if I bought this gun, I would not have any issues using it for home defense. I would trust it in that role. I think that's the highest praise I can really give a gun like this. And I'm still a little shocked at how well this gun works. So go check it out. Check out Kel-Tec. Let us know what you think. And thanks for watching, guys.